I have a special guest with you guys today, Mike from Oklahoma. The beauty with Mike is that you're seeing present day Mike, but it's not always been this way. And I think the goal today is for you guys to learn where Mike was, to see where he's at now, but to understand the work that he's put in to make his health an asset instead of a liability, which he's going to tell you it was that way for years. So he's a father, he's a husband, he's a business owner, and I think he's been reborn, and we're going to kind of unpack that. So, Mike, welcome. Good to have you, man.
Good to be here.
You want to start with present day? Where are you at, man? What do you do for a living?
Own an advertising agency.
Okay.
So I also just started a window tint business with my son.
Okay.
Some things I never thought I was going to be able to do, but hey, I'm here.
Okay. So you mentioned a son. Talk to me about your family.
Oh, I've got 2 previous marriages that brought me 3 beautiful children.
Okay.
So I've got 2 girls. I think my oldest is 24 now. She's giving me 2 grandchildren. Got a 21-year-old. And then I have that joyful, just 17-year-old son. Just brings me joy in new ways every day. Just things you wouldn't think of.
I'm sure.
It's a journey, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and we'll unpack that a little bit. Tell me about your wife, lucky lady, right? Lucky lady.
Yeah, lucky now. No, she's great. She's Spanish, and she takes very, very good care of me. So she's been very supportive in this and helps with meal preps and makes sure I do everything the way I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. But it hasn't always been this way, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Well, let's unpack that. So I want everyone to understand that there's a lot of limiting beliefs out there as to, specifically with men, too busy, family, career, everybody comes first. But in reality, you're doing all these things we're about to talk about. Like, you're doing all these things, and you're kind of crushing these limiting beliefs. And it's ever since you joined Alisco Fit, we've teamed up, we've attacked your health. It's been insane to see this transformation, not just physically, not just with the food and the fitness and all that, but with the mindset. We get on community calls weekly, and it's almost like we have Ryan B, to where you're speaking and everything that's coming out of your mouth is like, it's currency, and it's helping people. And I think your story, it's one thing for me to get on and talk about it, but it's another for you, given where you've been. So tell me, take us way back, man. Take us back to the old Mike.
Man, we'll start at the beginning. Man, I grew up a certain way. I made some decisions early on in life, just right out of high school. Got a young lady pregnant. Thought, I'll do the right thing. A man, take care of this. Married her. Way young. I was 19. So, did that. Got into law enforcement. I won't say that was a mistake. Probably wouldn't change it, but it did have a great impact on my life. Was married to her for some years. And then got off duty one night, came home, and realized I was not the only one. So that set me down a different kind of path. Started drinking a little bit. Met another woman. Made poor decisions in life. Was going through a divorce at that time. Yeah. But I got my son out of that deal. Most of my law enforcement career, which I started when I was 21, a little bit before.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. But it did. Saw some things I shouldn't have. Went through some things that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
The drinking definitely kicked in. After that second wife, kicked in a high gear.
Why is that? Real quick, let's pause there. Why is that? What caused it to kind of go into high gear? The drinking.
I had some. I was shot, not kind of in line of duty. It's a silly story. I was shot by another police officer on the range. It was a ricochet, but it was in a very unfortunate place. And then through the course of my work, I've also been stabbed or slashed numerous times. And those are back in the good old days when doctors were just doling out oxycodone like it was candy.
Yeah.
And I hopped on that train and kept on getting refills, and wake up one day and hell, I have a problem. Not a little one. I got a problem.
Sure.
So trying to get off that, and then using booze to cover that up to make
Yeah.
you know the pain go away and numb things and not have to think about things. You just get caught in this vicious cycle, I think, as a man.
Sure.
And depending on your profession, I think most people who are going to be involved in this program are probably going to be, executive professionals, law enforcement, somebody who has to make decisions for other people all the time. And you kind of circle the drain, man. You make so many decisions for other people. You make so many decisions, in my case, for citizens of the community, even in business, making decisions for employees.
Yeah.
Come home, you got to make decisions for loved ones. You're the head of household. You kind of get stuck in this vicious cycle, and all of a sudden, you're not making decisions for yourself. You're just trying to get through every single day, and it's rough, and it just creeps up on you. And next thing you know, you wake up a decade later, and you're still doing the same thing that's not working.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge part of it.
How long were you in law enforcement for?
I'm still in it, but I retired after 18 years.
18 years.
So I just got to a point where it's not for me anymore. I just can't. I don't think I have the patience anymore, and the impact it's had on my health.
Yeah.
I love night shift.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about
night
that
shift.
real quick. Tell
night-
everyone about your health, like what the impact was.
Working night shift, lots of energy drinks involved in that. You're exposed to all kinds of different things. You're going on fire calls, EMS calls, bloodborne pathogens, all the fun stuff. Smoking like a chimney. So, yeah, I got my first 2 stints at, I was like 42. That was a little bit of an eye-opener. I was still drinking pretty heavy then. So then I'm on blood thinners, blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, drinking antidepressants. I was taking, I think I got up to 14 pills a day, which for somebody in their early 40s, it's kind of ridiculous.
And this is all while you're being a father and a husband, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is all, right? Like,
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And I mean, not just is it taking a toll on you, I'm sure it was taking a toll on the family at the time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You probably weren't present, right?
No, I wasn't present.
You were there, but in terms of like actually being present, you were just kind of, right, coping and kind of trying to get through the days, right?
Coping, trying to get through the days. I was a horrible father in terms as of, and I'd come home hammered and be like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey bro, what you doing? You gonna play some PlayStation?
Yeah.
Like just, silly stuff.
Yeah.
Then I got to the point where I saw myself going down a horrible path with the drinking, like getting banned from certain bars. There was a few times I tried to take my own life.
Yeah.
Then I just finally decided, you know what, it's time. I got 2 stints. I got to make some changes. I got to quit drinking. Well, then I tried to man up and quit drinking without any help.
Yeah.
My lovely wife-to-be had to help me to the car. Barely made it there after about a little over 24 hours of not drinking anything. Then I got admitted to the hospital, and I got to go through that joy of being on an IV drip and then taking shots in the stomach every 2 hours. I did that for 3.5, 4 days. Then I had a level of frustration with that where I checked out of the hospital against medical advice and I was determined I was going to do it. That was March 25th of last year. Haven't had a drink since. Don't want to drink. Occasionally, I'll get the craving. Like if it's hot outside, yes, Tecate, goblet, salt and lime. Sounds great.
Yeah.
But the changes I've seen just in family, man. My son looks at me differently now. He, take a guess and say he has a lot more respect for me. I'm not just some slurring drunk roaming around, barely making it through life. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
One hell of a journey.
And all the things you've been through to get where you're at today, I'm sure. Would you change anything?
No. Wouldn't be here without it.
Exactly. The burdens of the blessings, right?
Yeah.
Well, so you made an oath to yourself. It's been, man, it's almost been a year since you had a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So walk everyone through, like, how did we meet?
Oh, well, after spending a couple weeks in bed when I quit drinking, man, I tried different things. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I don't know if we can say anybody else's name or not, but P90X or V-Shred or, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, hell yeah, $69.95.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Well, guys, some of that works for about maybe 30 days. You'll see some results, but it's not going to be long term. And I've heard people, and we'll get to the solutions later, but one of the most irritating things, which I've had to learn myself, okay, for one, I don't need some 20-year-old kid who hasn't been through any kind of life, hasn't done shit. It's got a fresh body. It's like, oh man, I'm ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let life
Easy,
kick
right?
you in the teeth
Easy.
a couple times. Yeah. Then let's talk about it.
Sure.
So, they got these people, and they're like, oh, I've got 2 trainers, and I'm spending money on this. You got 2 trainers, you're not seeing any results? Holy shit. I'm sorry. What is the common denominator in that equation? Why are you not seeing any results? Because you're not putting in the work.
Yeah.
You're not following the trainer's advice or the coach's advice.
Yep. Amen.
So then I started, I'm on TikTok, and I'm looking at all this stuff online. And I start looking at guys like me, guys a little bit older,
Yeah.
but that are in shape.
Sure.
Okay, because these guys, they got to know something. They have to know something I don't know. So that's how Ryan and I met.
Okay. Now, one of the most interesting interactions I've ever had with someone, and I'll say this, you're going to agree, pretty much a straight shooter, unfiltered.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we had a conversation, and there was an opportunity there for you to really take it to the next level, and we go back and forth, and you kind of said, well, you know what, I don't know, and then I sent you a text message.
I wouldn't call it a text.
What was it though? Was it what you needed to hear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it lit a fire, didn't it?
Oh, it absolutely did.
And here we are.
Yeah. And later on, if you want to share those texts with some other people, you're more than welcome to.
I got to be honest, Mike. Sometimes I'll go in because you're doing amazing things, and as much as I'm the coach, right? It's an inspiration because it reaffirms what health can be, not just for ourselves but for our loved ones. It's not normal anymore to be, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner, just like yourself, and it's like it's not normal to have your anchor be your health.
Yeah.
But it needs to be normal.
It does.
Right. And that's kind of the movement that we are trying to push forward. And it's, I want to talk about now everyone, a lot of people are going to talk about, the weight and the muscles and this and that. That's important. Right. But it's the mindset with you specifically as to, instead of shying away, you're leaning in. And you had mentioned you had 2 stents by 42, lots of medications, high blood pressure, right? Blood tests like you wouldn't believe. And what's cool is Mike actually sent me his blood tests that were recently done, and I think it was, what was the difference in terms of when it was taken? What was how many months?
There's a little over a year.
Okay,
somewhere around there.
We got the triglycerides in there. Tell everyone what your triglycerides were when your test scores were taken about a year ago.
They were over 2,000, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they were not able to get a reading on that one. Okay. And my doctor even said, there is no way you fasted. And I was like, I absolutely fasted. I've been fasting for a hot minute. And yes, I quit drinking about 12 hours before this, so we need to wrap this up because I need a drink.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You went and got the blood work done, what was it, probably about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And what were the triglycerides at then?
I think they were less than 150. So
how does that happen? What happened, man? I mean, what? Obviously, you made the oath to yourself. Here we are. Let's go fit. Like I'm not taking any credit for it. I mean, you put in the work. I build the plan. You put in the work, right? And, but what? How do you do that? Like what we need to do is there's a lot of guys that are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, okay, Mike's a regular dude. He's just like me. Like he's a father, he's a husband, right? But how in the heck, how do you do that?
You have to set your ego aside for one and realize it's okay to get a little help from somebody else. I don't want to give away all little secrets, things I've learned from this, but
it's one of the bigger ones. It's one of the bigger ones.
Okay. Ryan, Elisco Fit, has shown me ways to decrease the amount of decisions I have to make every day.
Ooh. And I kind of want to talk about that. So let's do some rhetorical questions for people that are listening. When you're not healthy and you're not eating properly, you're not taking care of yourself, the vices run wild, the emotions run wild over the habits, right? You making more or less decisions throughout the day when it comes to your health. We know, right? A ton. But when we flip the coin and we start preparing the foods, right? We got a workout, we got the foods, it's all aligned. What happens through the day?
Days get easy.
Okay. So
and I've got so much free time now that I thought I didn't have.
Hold on. People probably clicked off because they're like, this guy's being paid.
No,
talk about that. Wait,
I'm not being paid.
You mean to tell me that you're working out now, like consistently, you're preparing your meals, right? And you have more time? How the heck does that happen, Mike?
Well, because I'm making less decisions. Things are already set in place. I know what's going to happen every single day, which does. I mean, it sounds a little boring, but I promise it's not boring. I wake up happy now. I look forward to every day.
Yeah.
I used to think I was too busy for anything.
Yeah.
I opened another business with my son. Like, I've still got time. I can make time.
And here's what's crazy. How is the household dynamic now that you've made this change?
Yeah, my finances are doing better.
We'll talk about that. How does that? Because oh man, and I promise everyone, I didn't pay him to say this, but it's like one of the biggest objectives with men taking charge of their health is this idea that, well, I don't have time for my health because I'm working so much for the business, and that is in turn helping my loved ones. So you're telling me that that's wrong? That's a wrong way of thinking?
Absolutely. I had a horrible way of thinking because I would go out entertaining clients and I'm spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month at the bar. So quit drinking. That helped.
Yeah.
Then it got a little more expensive on the health side there for just a smidge. Yeah. Seeing doctors a lot more, doing that stuff, normal things I should have been doing for years. But I think one of the key things in this deal is there is no get fit quick scheme. When you get to our age, you have invested years into doing the wrong things.
Amen.
And maybe not everybody needs it, but I needed some help. I needed some guidance. What I was doing wasn't working. And I also know it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Yeah, you're going to lose some weight in the beginning. You're going to hit a little plateau.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see if you're really working the program or not. That's how it is. Those first at least 10 pounds, they come off pretty quick. They're pretty easy to get off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But after that,
it's a tease, isn't it?
Yeah. You're finding out. Yeah. And then that gets you into a whole different ball game of, like, certain people have different goals. Mine is to build more muscle. Yeah. So I'm losing weight, but I'm building muscle, so I'm adding a little weight, but not as much weight as the fat was. So sure. I'm in a happy spot right now.
And it's a lot of people will look at the scale. They should. I get it. But it's how the clothes are fitting, right? It's the energy, right? How's the energy?
Energy's great. And don't worry about how the clothes fit. Don't worry about how you're looking.
Yeah. Start
where I did. This is what really kicked it over the edge for me. I saw those labs. And I was like, there's no way. So I was getting healthy on the inside first. Outside is going to take a little bit to catch up.
Yeah, I think you told me, it was a birthday, right? You told me that it was like the first time in years where when you saw those test results and the birthday came and it all just kind of came at once, you got kind of emotional because it was just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like, I did this. You did it.
Yeah. And that's, I can't remember who said this, but I heard it. I don't know where I heard it at, but I heard it. Somebody said it. I'll give them credit. Don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They said the gym is probably one of the most fair places on earth. The gym is one of the only places where you go and what you put into it, you get back out.
Amen.
And it's true.
It's very true, isn't it? And I think sometimes we go in the gym. Well, I don't know if it's an age thing, but we're in our 40s, and it's as great as the aesthetics are and the look. It changes over the decades because for me, and I think you're the same way, it's more so it's therapy. It's medicine. It's free medicine. And I don't know who said this, I'll give him credit, but I don't think anyone's ever gone into the gym, put in a workout, and they were in a worse mood when they left. And
That's helped. It helps with my mental health issues too. Because after 18 years of law enforcement, 5 years of being a firefighter,
yeah,
I got a little smidge of PTSD, a little bit.
yeah,
So on those weights, they make a huge difference.
yeah.
And then being sober on top of it and having to deal with all those issues I didn't deal with for years, yeah, the gym is my friend.
Boom. So then I think this is the question then. I mean, what would you say to a guy of our age, early to mid 40s? They know they need to make a change. They wake up every morning. They're not liking what they see. They're not liking how they feel. They're doing all these things for their loved ones, but they're not showing up in their best way. What would you say to someone knowing the Lisco fits out there? I mean, what would you say to those guys who they're right there, but they're just waiting?
Pull the trigger, commit. You won't regret it. It's, I'd say, one of the best things that's happened to me in a long time. And it's not just Ryan. I mean, there's a whole little community.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets back to probably one of the things I loved about law enforcement and fire department. Probably, I've never been military, but probably similar to military. You get that camaraderie. You got people with similar goals, mission oriented. We need to get this done. And
Law of exposure.
there's things in group that are just silly things that come up. Hey, I'm having trouble waking up to my alarm. Bam, had the same issue. They got this thing for the hearing impaired, bed shaker. Put it in your pillow. You're going to wake up.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes it's the little things, man, and I think you touched on it earlier in the call. It's you got to put your ego aside.
Yeah.
And I think and I used to be there. It's like we're men, we're macho, we can do it all. But it's like the minute we acknowledge our issues that we need to change, right? But the minute you know there's help, you acknowledge you need help, but then when you pull the trigger, it's like this whole different world out there to where it's like, yeah, I'm macho, but I'm okay to say that I need some help. And then when you get the help and you turn the corner, you're just like, man, it's like, it's the craziest thing, you know?
Yeah, it is. And just, you get involved in it. You're probably going to learn the hard way like I did.
Yeah.
Don't ego lift. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you some time in the gym.
Yeah.
But you go in there and you grab those 40s or 50s like I did because you can do it. Yeah, you're just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Then you're going to hurt your own feelings because I think as men, we're task-oriented. We want to get that task done.
100%.
So
100%.
I messaged Ryan the other day. I was like, hey, man, I think you messed up on these reps on this superset. Like, 12 after that 8. Yeah. You fat finger that one or something, man? No, it's designed like that. Go to failure. I'm just trying to crank him out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Got to go to that place, right? Plant the flag, move on to the next spot, plant the flag, right?
Yep.
Well, hey, man, it's an absolute honor to not just obviously have you on the program, but call you a friend. There's a lot of similarities with me and you. I'm not going to get into my story, but when we had first talked, what you've been through is insane. But what's even more insane is what you've done to create this new person, this new father, this new husband, this new business owner, this new friend. Like it's not just you. You're touching the lives of your family. You said it. Your son is now looking at you in a completely different lens. He's looking at you as the answer. And we both have sons. And if there are fathers listening that have sons, we're going to go extra on this. We have a problem in society to where men are just not operating as men. And it stems from our age. It's a misguidance. And when our kids see us doing these things religiously, right? It shows them. I mean, they're going to listen to us, right? But they're watching, and it's just a beautiful thing, man, that a lot of people at your age have given up. They've thrown the towel in. I'm too old. I'm just going to focus on my career. Is that what your loved ones deserve, though? Right?
No.
It's like you've heard it, I've heard it. How many guys say, well, I'm doing it all for my family? Well, if you're doing it all for your family, then show up better.
Yep.
And that's why I respect the hell out of you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I will tell you right up front, I put in the time showing him what not to do. He has a clear understanding of that. And now it's time to show him what to do.
There you go. There you go, man. Well, I look forward to seeing what else you can accomplish, man. I mean, the sky's the limit for you.
It's going to be great.
But I appreciate you, man. And hopefully you guys got some value from this. Hopefully all those limiting beliefs, maybe they're a little less. I don't know. But my hope is that all the guys out there listen to this and they understand that they can and that they just need to start. So, Mike, I appreciate you. Love you, man. Let's keep crushing it.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy.